Okay, so it's good morning to everyone. It's 10:05, and we'll start our webinar today. So again, thank you everyone for joining. We hope to make it very interactive, so please feel free to ask any questions that you have in the chat window here, and I will address them as and when I get to it, or we can address them at the end of the webinar. So quickly, a brief introduction about Easy Data Munch, a 2 minutes introduction, and then we'll jump directly into our topic for the day, predictive analysis using Qlik and R. Easy Data Munch, we are a business intelligence applications company. Our focus has been primarily to create user-defined application, user agnostic applications, applications that are created for ease of use by different business units, departments, organizations, and industry verticals, trying to give them a leg up where they can analyze data efficiently and quickly and discover more insights. We work with organizations across the board within sales, finance, executive management, marketing and production, procurement. So pretty much we cover almost all aspects of an organization. And our team is some of the platforms that we support: Microsoft BI, Stack, Tableau, Qlik, Spark, R, and a lot of other things, as you can see here. What is the key thing that Easy Data Munch provides today is pre-built application portfolio. We have more than 150 applications today. These are applications for analysis, sales analysis, marketing and social media, Google Analytics, Facebook, Twitter, data from your campaigns, and so on and so forth. So what is basically a portfolio of applications that allows our business users, our clients, quickly deploy them either on cloud or on their premise and start discovering data. We also have a cloud version of our own where customers can subscribe to these applications without really going through a development process at a very economical cost per month basis. So there are a lot of things we bring, and our focus is keep providing meaningful, contextual, predictive insights going forward for customers and users who are using these powerful visualization tools. So some of the applications, as you can see here, the industry verticals and the apps that we already have, some of the things that we do using predictive analysis here. So we have speech analysis, we have customer 360-degree marketing, ROI and revenue optimizers, spend optimizers, social listening posts, customer care analyzer, labor cost optimizer. So there's a lot of stuff that is everybody able to hear me? Because I'm getting a question that is not able to hear me. So So again, continuing with, I'm hoping everybody's able to hear me except Lee probably here. So Lee, probably you want to disconnect and back. That might probably help you. Going directly jumping into what we have done from the predictive solution stack perspective, this stack is created using QlikView and QlikSense. It works both on QlikView and QlikSense. It's an extension object using REST API communication. We are using R and OpenCPU, and basically this can be deployed both on your desktop as well as it can be deployed in a server environment. So, and the other advantage here is you can actually connect to this package deployed in your network anywhere on a server and still connect your desktop sense and get the results within back in ClickSense, and we'll see that in just a moment here. So this is basically a very simple package. What we have done to do for the ease of use, for user perspective, it will be an executable package that will be delivered, that will be provided to our customers if they want to deploy it on their server or in their desktop environment. Or we have a cloud option whereby you don't have to worry about anything. You just connect to our cloud and you can leverage this whole package within the Qlik application. So that's the point. And idea is the package will come pre-built with everything that you need to run this statistical process within your application. So you don't have to worry about what kind of R installation I need to do, what kind of packages I need to load into R, what kind of port connection I need to have. There is nothing that is needed from user perspective that you need to do while using this package. And that's one of the biggest difference that we are bringing into this whole predictive analysis here, where we have looked at other options available out there, even the integration that Tableau provides within Tableau. You have to really our program, and you have to do a lot of configuration if you have to work with Tableau desktop to make and even the server environment. We are trying to make it much more easier from user perspective, so that you can just take this package, deploy it whichever environment you want, and you can start creating your analytics charts within your existing applications within Qlik. Some of the use cases that we've already worked upon with sales forecasting, using Salesforce data, so bringing Salesforce data to Salesforce connector, and then actually running forecasting model on top of that, decision tree and forecasting model, loan default probability. So here we are looking at historical performance of the loan portfolio and then predicting what is the default probability of a specific loan account or a customer or a small portfolio by itself. Correlation, regression analysis, decision tree analysis, and for example, we have created use cases where for an educational institution where they can actually decide what kind of students they would like to do from the application perspective for various programs that the university is offering. Cluster and segmentation analysis, again, you can run different kind of clusters. The whole thing is pretty much configurable. So let's jump into it right now, and then we'll go from there. What we have also done here, just from the analysis perspective, is we have taken some of the most widely used data sets for our training and our programming purpose, and basically we are going to show you how these data sets really work within the Qlik environment itself. So now I'm going to start with the desktop version here first, and then we will look at how it works on the server as well. This is a regular weather data analysis. So this data set is basically a data set that provides weather information on a daily basis, and also shows a bike rental company data where it's showing how many bikes were rented on a given day, whether the day was rainy, what temperatures they were, what was the humidity percentage, whether it's a weekday or a weekend or holiday. So the data set is pretty easy, and I can show you the data set that we are loading here. And I can do this from scratch. I just basically wanted to save some time. So give me 1 second. So this is a data set here. As you can see, you have a date, your unique identifier for each record. There is a season number, so whether it's winter, whether it's spring, whether it's summer, or fall, month, year, holiday, weekday, working day, weather statistics. So there are different kind of things, whether it's a rainy, cloudy, sunny day, those kind of things. Again, so This data is again normalized for statistical analysis perspective, so we are going to use data here, and I'm going to quickly go to the app here. So we will start with the regular Qlik Sense charts here. The reason I'm trying to show this in this way is this is how a user will start their analysis within using the Qlik Sense own set of charts and analytical capability, discovery capability here. So I'm looking at my day-wise patterns, for example, and I suddenly see a dip here somewhere in October. So I know there is a dip somewhere in October here. So I'm going to look at what's going on. I'm looking at different years or different months, different days. So I'm looking at the pattern of different days in terms of what's happening on a given day, in terms of the rentals that I'm seeing. Going back, this is my kind of a monthly kind of an average rental. As you can see, average count of people with bikes. This is actually a Qlik chart itself. It's a scatter metric that we created just to show the correlation. And as you can see, this shows a very high correlation between an average temperature versus the temperature on a given day. So obviously these two are very closely related. And you can also see the season. So we are looking at winter, fall, summer. This is going to be the highest rental because that's when people are usually out. So you're looking at that. And you can see the temperatures are also pretty high towards the higher side. So that's the reason you're seeing more people renting the bikes. Now, this is something that you can analyze using regular Qlik functionality. Now, let's move to what we can do using R. So this is a correlation analysis that we have drawn. Now, let me quickly show you how our R function works. I'm going to close this chat window for a minute here. Now, I'm going to click on this R function, and we have a specific extension object that we are using, Easy Data Munch R4 Qlik extension object. And what we are doing here is we are allowing users now to select the dimension. So it's a drag and drop, like a regular Qlik functionality that you see. You can select the measure if required for a specific statistical function. The R configuration allows you to choose whether you want to use a local open CPU, and this can, when you get the package from us, all these things will be preset. Though, if you want to change this, whereby instead of using this, if you want to use a server URL because you deploy the whole package on a server somewhere and not on your desktop, so that everybody within the organization, they are running the desktop, they can connect to this package, you can do that. So that's the reason why we are showing this. So you can just change this URL to the server URL, and the chart will work exactly like they're supposed to work. And this is where the crux of the matter. Now, this is where we are giving you options where instead of writing R programs, like we have seen numerous integration, including that are available within Tableau or within Power BI or even other packages like Alteryx and all, you have to really write an R program. There is no way getting around that process. And most of the business users we know and we work with, they don't know anything about coding. So how do I provide you this kind of analysis by just doing drag and drop? So now I have a category here where I have different statistical functions, including forecasting models, and we'll come to that later, cluster analysis, ANOVA, and regression. So we are providing you close to about 7 functions, but these 7 functions have a lot of options available. As you can see here, now I have different options here. So as of today, the first release that we have done for this package, we are providing you close to 50 options of our statistical functions that you can utilize right out of the box without writing a single line of program. And that's the key thing that we are bringing here. And even in correlation, now there are different types of correlations. You can change the correlation type that you want to utilize, and it will bring that correlation data to you. So again, from user perspective now, when you are trying to do, users always know their business better and they know what's going on. Usually they understand the data as well, but it's more like I'm getting a validation here by statistical analysis within my app now to see the kind of what statistics are saying, whether my hunch is right or not, whether what I'm seeing in terms of trend. by using clicks and regular functionality is really making sense or not. And that's where this kind of integration shines, because now I can pretty much do everything out of the box without writing a single program. I don't have to be a data scientist. I just am a regular business user, and now I'm using and collaborating and having best part of Qlik functionality and the best part within this whole application. And that's what we do here. So let's go forward. So this is the one example here. This is another example where I'm creating a different kind of a cluster here, where I'm looking at all the data points. This is all the dates. So this is what is showing me temperature and humidity for all the dates, so all the records that I have within my data set. So this is one example here, and as you can see, the performance and the speed, this is a cluster analysis here. So now I'm actually able to create a different kind of analysis here by providing a 4 cluster, or I can do this by providing, this is a regular chart in Qlik. So what we have done, this is a regular chart in Qlik when I've done cluster analysis by creating class. So I've created a class function within Qlik, and I'm actually doing a kind of a easy cluster analysis. It's not statistical, but it basically just provides me a simple way to look at it. Now let's look at how using R's functionality of statistical clustering, we can look at this information. So this is the cluster analysis. Now, as you can see here, R doesn't provide you colors, and we have actually added all the colors. So if you are using multiple dimensions, you will see them in different colors. So again, we have different cluster analysis. We have k-means, we have EWKM, we have hierarchical by cluster options where you can iterate the cluster, you can provide the statistics, you can do rescaling. There is a tons and tons of options that we are providing in the entire package. You can do a discriminant cluster if you want, and we will keep updating more and more features, statistical function in this whole process to start analyzing information the way as a business user. You can define number of clusters. I can change as a business user. I want to see 5 clusters. I want to see 10 clusters. I want to see 15 clusters, and it's going to automatically start doing and refresh your data set with that option as, in real time. So these are the ways. So now you can see there are 5 or 6 points, 5 cluster points on your each cluster rather than 10. So this is the where, again, as a business users now, you are able to utilize just what is available within Qlik and add your statistical analysis and combine that and create. Now you can take a screenshot of this one, as you can see, and you can put that in your user story. So this is completely interactive within Qlik environment itself. It will have all the functionalities that Qlik offers out of the box to all these extension objects in charts. So whatever you create using our package is going to have its complete functionality. I can zoom out. I can take a picture and put into my user story. I can do everything that is allowed within Qlik environment. It is completely integrated within Qlik itself. Again, we are going through some basic other options here, and so look at the correlation analysis here. Now, it's not just about data. I think so. What we've also done is we have actually expanded this correlation to show you how this data is actually. There are subsets and sets and things like that. You can look at this analysis by not just data itself, but also by looking at how it's presented within that specific set. We are also providing a complete summary overview of the data. So this is another statistical. So if you look at the options that we have created, is summary and basic report. So this provides you everything that you would like to know, and you can scroll down. So again, when you look at R, when you write an R program, all these data sets are typically provided back to you in a very clumsy way, or I would say it's not aesthetic. And what we have tried to do is actually take the output back from R in our package and actually put formatting in place so that it is easy for users to look at the information. Like I can see now this is temperature is my dimension and all the related statistical analysis for temperature. Now humidity, for example, here, then season. So if you data directly from R, it's going to be extremely difficult for somebody to look at it aesthetically and understand what's the data here. But what we have tried to do is make it more pleasant. Again, this is the first version of our package. We will keep doing more and more stuff and update it with more functions, more features, more integration within Qlik itself so that you can play around with colors, you can play around with how you want to see it, and those kind of things coming in the future. We have also done regression analysis. So again, this is a regression function right out of the box. So categories regression, that's the one that we selected here, and then you can see your regression analysis. Again, everything is configurable. You can add dimensions, you can add measures. So I can remove something and it is going to change my regression right there and there. So completely user-friendly. You really do not have to write anything in R. No programming knowledge required, no coding required from your perspective, as a user perspective. So this is one example. Let's go to an example where this is an example that we wanted to show as a decision tree. So this is a data set about a university which is looking at different applicants that are applying to that university, and they basically have information about what was their pre-university scores, what kind of diploma courses or what kind of specialization that they've done in the pre-university level. So whether they were technical courses, whether they were marketing courses or sales, or whichever streams that they have their undergraduate and pre-university scores, and what kind of interview scores they had in their application process. And based on that, now actually we are creating this decision tree in terms of which students from what kind of pre-university background they should put in which university program, because the university is running different programs, and a student can apply for different programs, right? But whether the student is going to be fit for that program or not based on historical GPU scores that they have seen for these students in the past, they are actually trying to make a decision of whether that student is going to do well in that particular stream which they are applying at the university. So this is a decision tree, again, right out of the box, nothing fancy. We just loaded the data. We are going to go and select here so we have added all the dimension, as you can see, admission year, gender, degree program. We have added the measure GPA score because that's what we're looking at. Our report setting says model, tree, traditional. Now, this is where it makes very interesting for a user. I want to look at a conditional model, and I'm just going to click on conditional, and it's actually show me a conditional analysis, as you can see right there, and giving me a box plot from R, which is generated, which shows me the range and basically how the degree programs, the pre-university levels are going to be affected based on what the students are applying and based on their pre-university grades. So this is where, again, this is something that users will love, because now they can apply different conditions. I can change minimum splits. I can change different statistical measures. So this is where a user can sit down with the guy who's a nerd, in my opinion. Sorry, the folks who are into our statistical analysis, but coming from a business background, what we always feel is I can always go back and forth with the guys who understands R and who write these fantastic programs and do this statistical analysis. But there is a lot of time wasted, because what I'm trying to see, what I'm trying to discover using tools like Qlik, it's hard to communicate. And this is where we think there will be a lot better collaboration between these two people, these two teams, where a user can see what is happening, and then they can also see what's going on, and they can start changing their parameters here and see how the decision tree is going to impact, and then go back and talk to this guy and say, hey, this is what I'm really seeing. Can you do something around this which is more sophisticated? Now, we as a team as an Easy Data Munch team, we can build those models for for you or our customers if you don't have those people in the house. But most of the time, you may have somebody who knows programming, who knows statistical, has a background in that, and they can do these things. So we will, in our future version, probably will open up a way where you can actually bring in your existing model directly into our package. So that's something that we'll plan in a future release. That's something not there on the horizon right now, but we understand those are the things that you would like to see, and we will definitely open up this package platform for you to do that. The same thing that I just showed you. Again, cluster analysis. So going back to cluster. So this is again one of the things that we usually say. A different cluster gives you different kind of analysis. So now you can actually compare as a user the same data set that you're running between two different cluster analysis that are provided statistically to see how does it make sense and how the data is clustered. So again, there are a lot of ways in which we are seeing users really using this data. We have customers who are looking at credit scoring, we are looking at churn data and trying to figure out how they can do it, loan defaults, forecasting. And there are so many different things that we think our customers are going to use this solution for. So let's look at, this is credit scoring. So how my credit scoring underlying data is correlated and how it's correlated to the target that I'm seeing, whether I should approve the credit application or not. So my target is 1 or 0, basically, in this case, in binary terms. But basically, I'm looking at credit amount, I'm looking at duration in month that the person is applying for, whether the existing credit history at the bank. So all this data that you have, and I can show you, this is again very, it's an available data set for machine learning purpose. You can take this data set and just ingest this into our application in Qlik, and you will be able to do these kind of statistical analysis by drag and drop without really doing anything in R. And that's the objective here for us. I can change the method. I can say I want to look at candle methodology, or I want to look at experiment methodology, and I just need to select that, and it's going to change data for you. I want to order it in the order of what I've selected as my first dimension. So now each my average target, and I can change this instead of, let's say I want to change this based on my credit history. It's going to change the order, as you can see here directly. So idea is this becomes a completely user-driven process, and it allows both the users who are analyzing their information and data to work hand in hand with their counterparts who are actually into. This is another interesting example. This is a famous iris data set about the petal length, and you can Google it. It's available. It's one of the most widely used data set for our training and our programming throughout the world. And what we have done is a very easy, very intuitive way, again a drag and drop, no R learning here, is we have created different correlations here, as you can see here. So type basically says what is the type of the petal. So there are 3 types of petal basically within this. And then this is petal length, width, same way, length and width for Samoa. And then basically I'm looking at different ways. So how these impacts my average Samoa width, things like that. And I'm just selecting my correlation analysis here, and I'm looking at box plot here. So again, from user perspective, I'm looking at information and trying to make a sense of, okay, what's the range, how it is correlated. As you can see, the getting the correlation analysis by just numbers may not make much sense, but now when you look at the visuals here, I can see there is a high amount of correlation, a high amount of the sets are intersecting, the circles are intersecting, and amount of intersection that you see that tells me there is what kind of correlation these two elements are running within my data set. So those are the kind of things that we think the users will be able to use. This is another example of a box plot that you can drive directly from this data set, again, drag and drop. This is some summary analysis. So one of the things that we have seen from a lot of customers is, I just want to see my basic statistics data. What is my mean, median, max, what's my skewness, what's my kurtosis, things like that. And obviously, you can do analysis. There are few of these are available in Qlik as functions directly. But when you have a large data set, we can do this analysis directly using this package, and you can see how it is all correlated in terms of summary analysis from that perspective. Any questions so far? Am I going too fast? Is it something that you would like to cover sometime? Are there any questions at this stage? I know we have still about 25 minutes to go, but I just want to make sure that if there are any questions, you can type it here, and I can try and answer them at this stage in terms of how this is whole working, or if there are any other questions on any statistical functions that you have. We have 3 or 4 more examples to go through, and then I can also show you some examples where we are actually connecting to the whole package deployed on a server environment from desktop. So basically, everybody within the organization can actually connect to one single package, as opposed to try and deploy these packages on individual machines. Okay, so I will have people write their questions as and when that comes. I'll leave the chat window closed again, but people can probably, you guys can write your questions. This is, again, a fantastic example of what you can do using this package. So what we have done, we've got a customer churn data and that's, again, a telecom data set that used. So we have got different dimensions here, right, in terms of how many minutes are used in night, or international minutes, evening minutes, daytime minutes, how many customer services calls that customer has made, what's an average account length of that customer, and so on and so forth. So what we are looking at here is a different analysis, different types of cluster analysis here using k-means versus EUWKM. So what it basically does from the user perspective now, I can compare 2 different statistical models on the same data set, same dimension, same measure that a target is trying to measure. And this will allow me to look at, now, as you can see here, k-means, I have almost 25 clusters, whereas here I've reduced the number of clusters. Again, so just want to go back and show you what you can do here. So I have 25 clusters. I'm rescaling them in k-means, whereas if I come back here, I have just 10 clusters. I'm not rescaling anything here. I can probably go and iterate a cluster and see what kind of output the statistical analysis is going to throw. So again, as I said, it's not just about how many options you have. For everything that you're doing here, you have multiple options that are relevant within the statistical analysis. Again, I'm not a pro in statistical analysis, but people who do this on day in, day out, they will have a very good understanding of what these functions are going to do to your data, what kind of things they will calculate, what kind of things they're going to provide in terms of results, and how they do compare with other options that you're going to select. So idea is, again, people who are knowing statistical analysis and people who are not knowing, for both of them, this becomes a very easy way to do things, as opposed to going in R and trying to write programs in R and then again use either some kind of output where they can look at this in a comprehensive. And we know that whenever we do statistical analysis, it's for either customer churn, or if you're designing a campaign, or you're looking at different product SKUs or product categories, or things like that, real life practical scenarios like inventory or stock situations, spoilages, and logistic kind of use cases where you're looking at an optimum way to ship something or minimize your cost, whatever you put in. Idea is you can use this analysis very efficiently, very easy, in an easy way, instead of struggling with R, because you can keep changing your dimensions, you can keep changing your order, you can keep changing different options and see whether the kind of results that are shown by the statistical analysis right within your application. And this is going to work based on different filters that QlikSense allows. So if you have a filter where the QlikSense shows you, let me show you this. So this is a box plot here, and I can actually select Q3 and Q4, and it's going to change my data set. So this is completely, as I said, completely interactive within Qlik here. So I can go and change this, or in fact, I can select this chart. I'm going to actually change my dimension from business unit. I'm actually going to change quarter as my dimension here, right? And I'm going to come here and actually going to change this from quarter to actually business units. So I can quickly do this as a user. Now, as you can see, it quickly just showed me this plot, and now I can select logistics, I can select lending, I can select education, and it is going to show me my box plot based on the business unit for the quarter. So how cool is that? Now you are not writing anything in R. You are able to interact with your data set like you normally do within Qlik's environment, and you can mix and match, you can change, you can do your selection boxes, you can do your filters, you can change your measures, dimensions, anything you want without ever knowing or thinking that there is something called R running behind the scenes. So that's the objective that we had when we started this whole initiative at Easy Data Munch. Our philosophy is to make things easy. It makes things like you're munching or you're eating something which you like. So that's what we try to do. And again, so this is the first version of it. We have come a long way when we started this whole initiative and this whole solution. And we are pretty excited that this is available right now. We have customers who are already trying out, who have already tried out, and they love it. And this is going to be available if somebody wants to try this on a trial basis, somebody wants to use this, we will provide them this beta release on a case-to-case basis so that you can try out and see for yourself how easy this is to work within your own data sets. Loan default. So again, we are looking at again an analysis here of a loan company as a portfolio. Obviously, every for-profit organization is trying to profit or maximize the profit. So we are looking at the total amount of loan that is given, the age and the interest rate, and looking at how does it impact the profit and loss account amount. So how does it impact my bottom line, basically? And this is the cluster analysis we have done here. We can pretty much do a decision tree here. We can do a forest model. We can do a regression analysis. Again, these are all the options available to you, to a user here. Now, this is an example. As you can see here, we are also showing you, and this is for the purpose of the audience here, it is not my local host. We have actually put this, deployed this whole solution, this package in cloud on our server, and actually this desktop is making a call to that package in the cloud. So this package we are going to release as a cloud option for users who would like to connect to this package and then use this within their own desktop or server environment in premise. So you will be able to use this package directly within the cloud infrastructure that we'll provide to you, or you can deploy it anywhere in your network or on a public cloud if you want. So there is no restriction of how this is going to work with you because it is based on REST API. So basically, no matter where you're going to deploy it, as long as the URL is valid, it's going to bring back the results. Obviously, there will be a performance gain or loss based on how you work with it, but basically, it's going to provide you what you need from wherever you are and how you want to really use this. So I know we are almost at 15 minutes mark here, so I would definitely like to open up this forum for questions so that I can cover all the questions that has. we will provide information around this package. It's already there on our website. If you go to our website, we've already provided this package will work with other visualization tool, as I mentioned. It will work with Tableau desktop and server. It will work with Power BI desktop and Power BI service in the web as well. But this is made for Qlik. We started with Qlik. We love Qlik as a platform, and we think that there is the way that we have done this whole solution for Qlik, it's far superior to any other solution that is available in the marketplace, because all of those solutions are going to require you to learn doing coding and R programming, which is the intention here is that as a user, you don't need to care about that. So again, we are at 10:45 mark right now, so I want to make sure that I give enough time. So please write any of your questions here, questions you have on the functionality, the technical side, commercial side. I would be happy to talk about if you want to know about the cost and how it's going to be available. Again, there are different models which I already mentioned earlier, but we can talk. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them. Anyone more questions? Do you want me to cover any other aspect of this presentation and you want to see something, go back and look at more things, how things have been done? There was one more scenario that I was told that I need to cover here, so I'm going to cover it for the forecasting. So let me quickly open one of the scenarios for forecast here. This is a simple scenario where we have year, month, and sales data, and now we are going to forecast. So as you can see here, we are basically forecasting using the forecast model. And again, one of the things that I mentioned earlier, and I keep mentioning again and again, that this is completely interactive. So let's say I don't want to consider my 2016 data into my forecast for future because the year is not over. So I'm going to select 14 and 15, and then I'm going to basically see my forecast based on that. So now, as you can see, my forecast numbers are changing based on what selections I have made here. I can do that same thing for month, or whatever selections I'm going to make here is going to change my numbers. So idea is that whatever we are making here should be completely interactive for a user here, because we believe that this is the way a user is going to analyze information. They are going to try and discover patterns, so they are going to try and discover things that they would like to see within the data set. So idea is the more they see, the more they can analyze on their own. That will allow business users to take more informed decision, as well as interact better with the people who are actually running some of these statistical analysis behind the scenes and providing valuable insights and inputs to the business users in the decision-making process. So again, anything else that needs to be seen, we can look at it. Idea was coming back to our presentation here. Easy data munch, we believe in making life easier. So again, these are some of the use cases that we know. We have worked on fraud and compliance. We have an application that looks at that travel expense spend and looks at whether people are charging personal expenses for in the travel reports based on where they traveled, who traveled with them, who they met, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of use that we can do that. We just recently completed or about in the process of completing some work with law enforcement agency where we are doing crime analysis and first response analysis based on what kind of crimes are happening in which neighborhoods, and whether shoplifting happens when it rains more, whether carjacking happens in this neighborhood when it is 100 degrees outside. We are doing some very, very specific analysis, and all this is done using a combination of Qlik's functionality as well as the statistical solution that a user can drive all these analysis within their application, and that's what we are looking for and aiming for. So I know there are no more questions here. So this is what I wanted to show. I hope you like what we are showing. I'm sure some of you would have already tried some of these things, and I'm hoping that this will also open up some of the thought process in terms of how you can probably do it. Again, as I said, if anybody is interested in using this on a beta or a trial basis, we will provide you access to this using our cloud server, so you can connect to it and use your desktop to build some applications, show it to your senior management and see how it really makes sense. And if it does, then we would be happy to discuss how you want to really use this package, this solution in your environment. We are working very closely with Qlik on this one, so we hope that whether you're using QlikView or QlikSense, this package is going to work in your environment. So with that, I would like to give your 7 minutes back. I know we are a little bit early, but thank you once again, everyone, and I really appreciate for your time. And as I said, this video webinar link will be available on our website and also on our YouTube channel. We will send out a link to everybody who has registered for this webinar, and that will provide you can look at this video again at leisure. We are continuing with our next webinar series every week, as we had promised in the past. The next week's webinar is about labor cost optimization, again, in terms of how you can take the timekeeping information from systems like Kronos, ADP, Workday, SAP HR, PeopleSoft HR, whatever HR systems you are running, and we will actually show you how you can optimize, how you can analyze your labor data, what are the trends that you can see, and how you can look at cost and efficiency of people, productivity, scheduling, and optimization of utilization of your resources across the board within the organization. So do register for that. It's going to be there on our website. Hopefully by tomorrow you will see the webinar link. But keep checking, and happy data munching to all of you. Thank you and have a great day.